Hi.
Sorry, I'm making sure I'm recording this time.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel.
Again.
It's me, Brandon, obviously.
Sorry guys, I'm terrible.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel again. It's me, Brandon, obviously. It's been a little over a year since the last time I did one of these. The 2024 year wrap video, at least with that video, I was on time. I published that video on December 31st, 2024. I'm currently recording this on the 6th of January. Unfortunately, the holidays got a little too busy and I couldn't keep up whatsoever. The days that I initially did plan on recording or publishing this video just kept being pushed back. I actually did try recording this video about a week ago, but it did not go well. I was in such a bad mood. I was whining the whole time.
It was terrible.
But just like last time, this video is my year wrap-up video of 2025, talking about some of the things that happened, whether it was small details in my personal life or just how the channel itself has progressed from, you know, the beginning of 2025 to the end of it. Duh. You know, and just like with a lot of things, I've learned a lot since then, whether it's been editing or posting or skills that I've just accumulated along the way in order to make this channel better, and hopefully I have grown as a person since the last video. Just to touch up on some things that have happened in my personal life, not to get into too much detail. Things like me separating from the military, for example, at the end of January of 2025. I know in the last video I mentioned that I'd be doing a video dedicated to my time in the military, and I've been so bad with that because I've pushed it off for so long and I really need to do it. It's just something that I want to do, whether for myself or for those of you who are thinking about joining the military. And just to, you know, it was 6 years of my life, my adult life. I feel like it's worth talking about, and if I don't talk about it, then sometime along the way it's gonna get mentioned, depending on where this channel goes, so might as well just cover it. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Speaking of January, that was also when I started my new job. It's been a pain in my ass in so many different ways, but it's also helped me grow as a person and accumulate a lot of good skills, and I'm thankful for the job. It's also, you know, paid for my bills and kept a roof over my head and, you know, everything that a job needs to do. This next one is more personal for me, but my son had his first birthday party, and I know that years will come and pass and he'll have plenty of birthday parties, but it was his first birthday and it's not as special to the child as it is to the parent. It was special to me and his mom. It was also just a great day, and all of his, you know, family came by, and it's a special experience, okay? For me. Screw him.
It was good for me.
I'm glad he had the party, and I was thankful that we were able to pull it together. His mom did most of the heavy lifting, so kudos to her. I kind of just stood aside, just twiddling my phone. Also, me and my family, we got to do our first family vacation, as with me, my partner, and our children. You know, it was our first little vacation. It was really nice. We had a really lovely hotel. We had a wonderful experience. It got a little overwhelming at times, but Monterey was great. I've never been there before. Well, before the trip, obviously. You know, we went to the aquarium. We explored that street. Why am I blanking on what that street is called? You know, the one that leads up to the aquarium. If you've been to Monterey, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking. Terry put up the stuff. But yeah, it was lovely. I had a blast. Would I go there again? Most certainly. There's a couple of restaurants and like small owned like family things that I really want to revisit again. But yeah, I just want to go on like another trip in general. That'd be lovely. But you guys aren't here to learn about my personal life. At least I hope you're not. So let's dive into the nits and grits of the Lord Darkseid's brutal year of 2025.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So to kind of start off with something that began in 2024, we finished Indiana Jones, because we started it at the end of 2024 and we finished it in 2025. We did episodes 4, 5, 6, 6.5, and the end. I can't remember why I did it 6.5. At the time, I still had my old PC, so recording longer videos were very difficult for me, and I was trying to get as much content out on my channel as possible. Especially for Indiana Jones being a new game, it was I think the first time I was able to play a brand new game right off the bat instead of waiting a whole month or two or whatever. Again, with my PC's capabilities at the time, my editing skills, and everything that I had to consider when it came to producing content on my channel, it became very difficult. So I didn't have the luxury of just saying, screw it, I'll record a long ass video. They were like more than an hour each one, but it wasn't like now where I could easily record an entire game and my computer wouldn't suffer for it, because I had to consider the amount of space it took to record the footage, the amount of space that it took to add in more assets or to render the video, and then have that all together on my computer still. It was just very tedious and grinding. I had to constantly record, upload, delete, make sure I had as much room on my computer as possible, because it was... I don't remember the specs of my old computer. I never really looked into it, but for content creating, it was awful. Indiana Jones in general, it's not a terrible game. I don't remember necessarily how in depth I got with describing the game, if I ever did, but the game is good. It's good. I don't know if it was because I was trying to record it. As far as gameplay went, it was really sluggish, laggy, just frustrating in general, really. I also just had a lot of bugs. I don't know if it was my Xbox or what, but I had way too many bugs. I don't even think I even mentioned or counted the amount that I actually had. I only noted down the ones that were a little funny. But overall, I still recommend the game. And I debated on playing the expansion, but the expansion itself is $20. And based on my opinions on the Indiana Jones game itself, I wasn't sure if that was money I wanted to spend, because I had Game Pass. Before Game Pass's prices became absurd and stupid, I played Indiana Jones on Game Pass. So I wasn't going to buy or pay an additional $20 for an expansion. Who knows? Maybe I'll revisit it in the future, but for now, I touched upon it a little bit before, but the game itself had a lot of hype leading up to its release. I was able to play it. I don't know if it was the same day, but it was at least the next day. And I was really hoping that that game would help me get more views, like, you know, playing something that's brand new and relevant and trendy to some degree. And for as fast as I played it too. Sure, because of my limits, it dragged on a little more than I wanted to. If I had my current computer and played that game, I would have been able to produce it a lot faster, and that wouldn't have been as much of an issue. But it is what it is. It probably also didn't help either that I complained playing the game a lot. Complained while playing the game. Oh, my English no good. Right after the Indiana Jones series, I did my first product review video. It was the Temu video. And why did I do it? Simply because one day on social media, I got a little coupon that said, hey, buy a bunch of stuff, bunch of random crap for like $15, I think. Something like that. I don't know. And I was like, sure, why not? This would be fun. And then I thought it would be funny to record it. And I didn't think the video would do good at all, because I was like half-assing the whole thing. The quality was terrible. I was using my lavalier mic, which I do have good ones, but for some reason in that video they didn't come out as good as they usually do. But no, that hit 317 views, 25 likes, 1 dislike apparently, rude. And then a few comments, I think like 6, but 6 comments. Duh. To me that's a lot. Maybe not to some other people who get thousands of views regularly or hundreds of comments or likes or what have you. I get it, my channel's not as good as yours, but for me that was a big deal. I was surprised that even got close to the amount of attention that it did, but if people like what they like, then who's am I the judge, you know? I don't know. So a whole 9 months later, I did the second one with TikTok products. Because the first one got a lot of attention, I thought, hey, maybe just every now and then when I'm, you know, feeling a little freaky, you know, feeling a little bit, oh, why not? I thought I'd make a second one. Guess how many views that video got? 19. 4 comments, which 2 of those are replies from me. And 7 likes. There's that going for it. Yeah, I was even more confident in that video because of the first one. But I think the first one, just overall quality was better. I think what sucks about the second one with the TikTok products is that it kind of like, I think I had a really strong start and then the middle was like entertaining and then the ending was kind of just like, eh. Like it kind of just dies off. I've debated on deleting it, but nothing. I have no excuse. I try my best not to delete videos just for the sake of maybe one day people are like, hey, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Speaking of which, not like the first video where I got comments like, here before you become inevitably famous. This is a really funny video, Brandon. You are good. I wish you the best, Brandon. Yes. Yes. Thanks. I thought you were famous or something. You need more subs. Thank you. I agree. I stumbled across you on my homepage. I love your energy and you're honestly hilarious. New favorite YouTuber for real. For a period of time, I was someone's favorite YouTuber. Feels a little nice. Yeah, so the second video didn't get nearly the same kind of attention, but you win some, you lose some.
Oh.
With the hype of Metal Gear Solid Delta being announced and everyone getting super excited for that, despite my knowledge at the time of the Metal Gear Solid universe, I never played the games myself. It kind of surprised me because there's a lot of like older and classic games and well-known games that I've played, and for some reason Metal Gear Solid was never one of them. So I thought I'd play it on my channel along with Aaron. It was still around the time when I had my old PC, so I was still limited on how much I could record. He joined in with me and we had a lot of fun. The first video got a lot of attention, what was really nice. Again, a lot to me. Remember that for the entirety of this video. It's a lot for me because my views to some will be considered embarrassing, if you may say. So yeah, and then we did a part 2 of Metal Gear Solid. Didn't get nearly as much attention. I think I recorded more content for that video and chopped down a lot because for both the first and the second part, I was a little lost on some sections and the cutscenes are so long. They're so long. And then if you die, there's so much you have to redo. So I wasn't enjoying it as much as I know a lot of people would want me to. And I hate to say that, but sorry, not sorry. I don't know. But also around that time, I started the Quiet Place series, the game, not the movie. It was also my first recommended game. This was important to me for a couple reasons. One, it was, you know, aside from Dead Space at the time, I was really trying to get myself comfortable playing horror games, because I'm such a weenie. I almost never played horror games before starting the channel. It was me kind of like getting into something that I was uncomfortable with, but, you know, trying to like get out of my comfort zone. It was also the first recommended game, which I find to be important for the channel and my community, because I want you guys to feel like you have a part in the growth of this channel and the things that I do. And that could be as simple as someone saying, hey, I think you should play this. And if it's something that with my time and capabilities that I'm able to do, I would like to indulge and actually do those things. Not only for myself, but for you guys. It also helps make this less of just my channel and our channel, if that makes any sense. Or maybe I'm just pulling stuff out of my ass. Who's to say? So yeah, I did. Oh, I also forgot to mention, depending on the person, if it is a game that I do play successfully and able to get out onto the channel, I'll, you know, give you a shout out if it's something you're comfortable with me being like, hey, thanks to this person. Or maybe I just won't care about your permission, I'll just call you out anyways. Like, A Quiet Place was recommended to me by my niece Mackenzie. Thank you, Mackenzie. And there will be other games along the way too, which I have and I will shout out those people. So also know that if I suffer from the things that you recommend, on you. Some honorable mentions of the recommended games that I've played on this channel this year and the people who recommended them. There is A Quiet Place by my niece Mackenzie. There is Side Effects by my friend Will. We Become What We Behold by Aaron. Dispatch, we'll get into more of that later, my good friend Chase. That Which Gave Chase. Get it? Because I just said the name Chase before this. Anyways, that was recommended to me by Aaron. Something else that I kind of started before, but really dived into this year, were the demos that I played. With my time and limitations, especially financially, it's a nice way to try out a game for free. It's also nice to see what I like, what I want to play, what I want to try out more of, especially on the channel, and to see what you guys want. If it's a scary game, maybe you want to see how scared I was during the demo and you want to see more of it. Or maybe I cry, or who knows, maybe you like the game yourself and you don't want to play it, which is completely reasonable. There's so many games that other YouTubers play that I don't want to play, but I want to watch them play it. I can do that for you. Some of those demos consist of the horror game Ludo, Spiral, another horror game Karma, Morbid Metal, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4. We don't need to talk about that. Who's at the Door, Bad Cheese, A Twisted Place, Emissary Zero, Hellmart, Subliminal, Thorns, Moss, and Card. And obviously those aren't the only ones. There'll be plenty more along the way. I have a butt ton on my wish list. Butt ton. That's a thing that I said. So to dive into Morbid Metal real quick, why that was significant for me personally and for the channel is that was the first game that I ever played on my new PC. So I did what Aaron did, and throughout time I, purchased individual parts for a new PC, and when the time came and I had everything together, I, built my new PC. I say I built it, but Aaron did a lot of the work. I was kind of there just kind of like pointing at parts like, here? Okay. Am I doing this right? But I love my new PC. I'll have Terry display some photos. We did record the process. The only reason why I didn't actually make a full video out of it is because some of the footage didn't come out the way I needed it to. And we also had almost no audio, which is crazy because that was like one of the things I made sure to have. Either way, with my new PC, I have a whole new range of things that I'm able to do, like record and play PC games. And along with that, I was also to do other things, like the thing that I've always wanted to do and produce the full video content series things. So every single time that I play a game, if it's something that I'm able to do in one video, great. One day I dream of the day or when I'm posting more consistently and maybe doing this full time, wink wink, wink, wrong eye, wink wink, I'll be able to record an entire game in one video. I have the ability to do so as far as my computer. Time, not so much. In this case, for some of the games that I did play and made multiple videos of, for any reason, it's purely it's more of just an additional option for my channel. If you're someone like me who likes to have really long videos in the background, or whether to fall asleep to, or while you're doing a hobby and you just want something to like kind of glance at every now and then, I produced my full video or full game videos, and there'll definitely be plenty more to go, especially when I'm more comfortable in getting back into the groove of recording more and taking time to actually play games that are longer instead of short form games, which we'll discuss more about. What did I just say? I've kind of been getting into the habit of trying to find games that I think I can record in one video, whether it's the full thing or like small independent games, demos, things that I don't have to worry about, part 1s, 2s, 3, and so on. I don't mind doing those. Sometimes it can get a little difficult when I have a list of games building up, but I can't get to those because I'm recording one thing, or I kind of want that one thing to be produced already, but I'm spending too much time going back and forth, and then it gets really tedious. That's kind of what I was doing with Dead Space. One of the reasons why I haven't finished Dead Space yet is because I spent so much time playing a game, episode of Dead Space, playing a game, episode of Dead Space, but it just kind of became too much, which I would like to get back into the groove of recording more and kind of grinding out more videos, which is completely fine, but it's more of just things in my personal life that I'm trying to figure out in order to solidify a good schedule and method and routine that works best for me. Moving on though, I did do my favorite YouTubers video. I did that because I want to say it's a trend, but I only saw one person do it, and in that video he said it was a trend. I saw a video of Jacksepticeye do a my favorite YouTubers video, and I thought that was so cool to see like someone who is, whether they're a bigger YouTuber or a smaller YouTuber or one that's nameless like myself, just to see like how different people have rather similar or completely different tastes in what they consume on YouTube. Because I think a lot of people can agree that YouTube has taken a lot of my attention when it comes to media. Sometimes my attention to shows and movies can kind of falter, and I'm not necessarily sure why, but YouTube is just a little more comfortable, and when you get to see other people having their favorite YouTubers or their favorite channels, you can kind of see not only how they're similar to you in those aspects, but what kind of content do they consume, and it also helps spread the word. Like Jacksepticeye covered a lot of channels that I was not familiar with, but I was able to go and browse those channels and to see what those were all about and see if maybe those were something I was interested in, and I wanted to do the same thing with my channel. I covered a lot of just my subscription list. Some of them I kind of feel bad. I didn't necessarily plan out the video, and I'm not really good with scripts, so I kind of just started repeating myself with some of the YouTubers that I don't pay as much attention to, but I kind of dimmed it down to a top 5 of people who I genuinely enjoy watching every single video. One of them might seem a little biased, but I promise it actually is one of my top 5 channels. But that was really cool. I highly recommend checking out that video. I will say what is nice about looking back at some of these is I realized what kind of things that I wish I did differently as far as recording and editing. When it came to that video and my 2024 wrap-up video, I started to realize how little effort I put into recording and editing those, and I definitely could have done a better job. That's what it's all about when it comes to making choices, is to learn from the good and the bad and to grow and be better. And hey, next thing you know, a new year's coming around and you're making better choices and you're growing. I sound so stupid. Please ignore me. Not completely. I still want you to watch this video. Something else that I was really excited to start doing were multiplayer game content things. I haven't done as much as I would have liked, and I've downloaded, bought, and prepared a lot of other videos, and I still haven't gotten to them because, you know, everyone that I play games with, they're adults, they have lives, they have kids, jobs. Scheduling is really difficult. But some of the games that I was able to record and produce, I did a repo video. We also did a part 2, but I never posted it because it wasn't as entertaining as the first, but I definitely plan on revisiting it, so don't get too sad about it. I did the Buckshot Roulette game. That game was so much fun. I did the, you know, the main game, the Double or Nothing, and then I did the multiplayer with my friend Will and Joey, and we had so much fun. At least I did. I hope they did too. I played Helldivers. It was the first time I was able to stream a game from a console that was also multiplayer and have everything go smoothly. Aaron and I started Little Nightmares 3. You know, Reanimal was announced and released. Little Nightmares 3 was released. Actually, I don't know if Reanimal is out yet, but the demo was. Aaron thought that was a good idea to play on my channel, and I agreed, and we did a part 1 and part 2. And we still need to finish the game. That's probably more my fault than anything, but it's not a bad game. Maybe I'll wait to give my review later. And then obviously Arc Raiders. The first time I ever played the game, I recorded it with Aaron. We actually played a little bit more before I started recording it, but it kind of just got to a point where I was like, screw it, pressed record. Posted 2 different videos from that same session. I want to do more of that. I've also thought about streaming it too, which is another conversation. But real quick, just to mention some honorable mentions of games that I played along the way and just recently. I played some independent games like Dressing Room and Tentacle Gallery. Those were very strange, but a lot of fun. I played a horror game called Gore on Steam. I also recorded my first 3 scary games video. It wasn't something that I was sure I was ever going to do, only because I didn't want to follow too many trends and just be like too repetitive, but just for fun. I found a game that I downloaded from itch.io, found out that that creator had other games and some similar ones too, so I thought, what if I did a 3 scary games video with those games, especially seeing that each one was only 5 to 8 minutes long, so who's it gonna hurt, right? But that was a lot of fun. With a lot of growth, there was also a lot of like struggles and difficulties when it came to this channel. A lot of technical difficulties, both when I first built the PC and, you know, when you first build a PC, it's not gonna work perfectly, it's not gonna work right away, and there's things that you gotta figure out. Trying to figure out how to record some games was really difficult. I went too hard too fast with some things, and I kind of bit the bullet for it. And I know that's kind of vague and I'm not really getting into much detail, but it's also in the past. But just making it clear that I've gone through some difficulties when making this, and there's also stuff in my personal life that has also kind of lingered, and it's kind of, you know, just like anything else, those influences and those experiences have an effect on like my mental health and my energy and my willingness to do anything other than getting out of bed in the morning. Also, I have a kid, so there's a lot of sacrifice and compromise that I have to make, ensure that I'm not neglecting my kid. Something else that I kind of struggled with, and it was more of like a personal and like mental struggle when it came to the channel specifically, was playing bigger games. I was under the impression that if I played a bigger game on the channel as soon as possible, that would do it for me. That would get exactly the kind of attention that I need in order for this channel to grow. I've been wrong each and every time, and I know that there are other YouTubers out there that people have already dedicated their time and attention to who have played those games. I get it. It's like a kick in the nuts when I'm using my hand and I'm saying kick. That, you know, you get your hopes up for something that you believe is going to be that very thing that you need in order to make actual progress. With Indiana Jones, it got almost no attention. With The Quiet Place, I did get attention. The first video really got my hopes up. With now it's at 419 views. It wasn't that much when I first released it. Someone's dying. After that video, it progressively went downhill from there. Like, the views started going lower and lower. Playing more trendy games like Repo and Helldivers, Arc Raiders, Silent Hill F, Dispatch. Okay, let me show you some numbers here, and I think if you were in my situation, you'd probably agree. Silent Hill F, a brand new game that I pre-ordered, picked up, downloaded, played the day it came out, and posted that night. 21 views, 14 views, 16 views, 9 views. The problem with being a smaller YouTuber, and it will be something that I'm unfortunately gonna have to suffer with for a while until I can somehow break the algorithm. I have a full-time job. By the time I'm off work, home, showered, dressed, ready to play the game, record that game for how many hours, edit the video, render the video, post the video, by that time 1,000+ YouTubers have already beaten the game. There's no competing with that. And I know it's just a grind that I have to like continue, but that's the gut puncher, the nut puncher, the throat stabber, the ball twist. It's unfortunate that no matter how hard I try to be trendy with my videos, by the time I'm able to do so, it's already been done 100+ times. And that's another reason why I started focusing more on shorter games that I could rapid post and make, to see if maybe I can just get more videos out, and the more I got out, the faster my attention magnet would do its thing. And then there was just some videos that I like barely tried on, or like didn't think much of, like the We Become What We Behold game. That game is like 3 seconds long, 385 views. The demo to Bad Cheese, again, like a 10-minute demo, 195. Again, that's not a lot, but for me, that's holy balls, especially 5 likes, 6 likes. Damn. Then I tried playing trendy stuff. Silent Still. Silent Still 2. And then sometimes I wonder if like the more scared I am at the game, the more views and more attention I'm gonna get because I'm embarrassing myself. A Twisted Play, 12 views. Emissary Zero, that's a demo. You're supposed to play that with more people, 76 views. More than I anticipated, but still. Dispatch! Dispatch was recommended to me by my friend Chase. I wasn't even sure if I was going to play the game. At that time, which is another thing I'm going to cover that happened this year, sucked. But I was bedridden, sick, in a lot of pain, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with anything ever. But he was like, hey, what if you play Dispatch? I think it'd be really good for your channel. And I agreed. First video got 146 views. Got my hopes up. Second one got 245 views. Great, we're making progress. 63 views, 65 views, and then 14 for the full game. And I'm not blaming anyone when it comes to like the people who recommend games. That is not what I'm trying to say. It's more of just like, he had the same intention that I would have had when it came to that. Like, it's a popular game for many reasons. It's a wonderful game. I'm so glad he recommended it to me. I enjoyed the shit out of that game. The problem is that it didn't do a lot for the channel. Again, no one's fault. It's purely my own, because clearly I'm doing something wrong. Whether it's editing, the amount of times I cuss in a video, whatever. Who knows? But that was another thing that I forgot to mention. This year was the first time I've been hospitalized. Multiple times! I was sent to a hospital in the middle of the night. The first time due to chest pains because I thought I was having a heart attack. Like, legit. Turns out, super embarrassing, having chest pain. It was a panic attack. I couldn't breathe. What? Then I get a kidney stone. Awesome. I got a freaking 25. Well, I was at the time. Now I'm 26. Kidney stone. Worst pain I've ever been in my entire life. It was 2 millimeters big. And then, this is even more personal, and you probably don't care about this, so if you don't, maybe skip like 50 seconds or something. That kidney stone led to a UTI. It passed, created more issues. More medication, more pain, irritation. Ugh, I hated it so much. It made recording, it made life so difficult. And some people might be like, oh, he's over exaggerating. Maybe it wasn't that bad for you. It sucked for me, all right? So yeah, that wasn't great. Maybe Ad Hoc should make another game and I can have a attempt number 2 at trying to become viral. I don't know. No, but I did enjoy the game. I had a lot of fun, but that was in the past. I'm glad I did it. I wouldn't have changed it. Maybe the editing. Maybe I would have changed the editing. Who knows? Either way, it was a blast. So glad that I did it. But now, what's more important is not the past. To some degree, the past is important. But the future. We've reached the end of 2025. It is gone. It is in the past. And I don't know about you guys. I think a lot of people can agree. But me personally, 2025 sucked. And I think I said that about other years. 2024 sucked too. 2025, 3 sucked, 4 sucked, 5 sucked. It all sucked. 2026 is going to be good. Right? You agree. 2026 is our year, people. For the ones with drive and didn't do anything about it. For the ones with dreams and just sat on their couch doom scrolling on TikTok. I definitely did not do that. Here are my New Year resolutions for my YouTube channel specifically. I have personal ones, but you guys don't care about that. Consistency. My first goal is to be as consistent as possible. I think the first month might be a little difficult, and that's not an excuse. Just based on how everything's looking already. The first week of 2025 or 2026 was nuts, all right? But with not only me diving back into YouTube, but Aaron and I are going to be starting season 2 of Innerd. Yeah, there's a lot I need to figure out. So yeah, consistency, I want to be as consistent as possible. If I can fine line a schedule that works for me and you guys, great. For multiple forms of content, actually. Like streaming, I want to stream so bad. I had so many issues with streaming, mainly because of OBS, which is great for recording. It's terrible for streaming. But I made those mistakes. I figured out what I did wrong, and I know what to do right. I want to stream at least once a week. I feel like that's pretty reasonable. I think I should start producing more short form content, despite if I actually want to or not. I'm not the biggest fan of short form content. I think TikTok and YouTube shorts are kind of the reason why it's harder for people to really like make the kind of content that they want to, because no one has that kind of attention span anymore. And not that I really want to advocate for it. I think just in order to get my name out there as fast and easy as possible, I think I'll start submitting to the algorithm a little bit. Again, as I mentioned, Aaron and I are starting season 2 of our Innerd podcast. We know a lot of the mistakes that we made first go, and we know what to do right this time, and we want it to be fun. That's the main goal, and we want you guys to join. And whether you are a nerd and you just want a little bit of that nerd dose, that weekly dose of nerdism, or you're not a nerd and you want to just, hear what all the gossip's about things that you may or may not understand, There's a more like legit description of what the podcast is. I'm just being stupid. But go check out the episodes that we have so far. I'll put the link below, obviously. I always mentioned from the get-go that I wanted to do interview style videos, but just talking with other content creators who are probably on the same scale that I am, to not only get their names out there, but to also just learn about their motives, their drives, and what it is that they're trying to accomplish with content creation. I had a few people lined up. I could have tried a little harder to actually make those videos happen. But, on our scale, it's a little more difficult to find that kind of time. But I really want to try harder. I want to reach out to more people. There's a few that I've just noted down recently, and I really want to reach out to them. So look forward to those. And last but not least, my subscriber goal. It took me 2 years, a little over 2 years, to get to 141 subscribers. I think that's a little too long. Sure, the number of videos that I get each video probably don't help, but I think I should have been further down the line if I just tried a little harder. But I think maybe not in the thousands, but just higher than where I am now, But the goal, especially with especially with the changes that I'm gonna try to implement into myself, the channel, the process, all of it, I'm hoping to reach 300 subscribers by July. I know that's a lot. It's unrealistic, but I want to. I don't want to throw out a reasonable one. I want to be legit. I would like to get to 300 by July. With that number, be a little more realistic and try to get to 400 by the end of this year. If higher, more than welcome. I won't complain about that. But if I can get to 400 by the end of this year, I'll probably be satisfied. Not enough to like stop or anything, but you get it. But overall, that has been 2025. I know I've kind of jumped around a lot and I was kind of vague on some things, but it's kind of hard to really get in depth with how this year went without getting too sappy, too angry, or too in depth with personal information that I shouldn't be sharing. So that's how the first take went. I literally just vented about things that no one should know about. But anyways, that'll be all for today, and that was definitely all for 2025. I know it's a little late, but hey, we're figuring it out, all right? So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and those who have actually contributed into making this channel grow to what it is today, I thank you so much. I appreciate the shit out of you. So until next time, adios, farewell, I love you guys. See you in 2026, and fuck you 2025. Peace. Things like me separating from the military at the end for the channel, I hope, to support me. I have a script, follow the script. So let's dive into the nits and grits of Dark Side. Shit. So let's dive into the nits and grits of the right after the Indiana. I stumbled across you on my homepage. I love your energy and your I saw a video of Jacksepticeye.